Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patience, a Dota 2 podcast. I'm your host, Cyphus, sitting here with co-hosts Wazoo.
Hey, how's it going?
And Roland.
Hello.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about our experience as Dota 2 players. I guess let's kick it off with the current state of affairs. Personally, I'm still sitting at about the same MMR. I think last week I reported it was at 1366. Unfortunately, I don't have my laptop with me to check that, but I think it's still at about 1350, 1370, I think, on the team.
Give or take like 30.
Yeah. Didn't play many games this week. I was out of town doing a conference, a real world thing. So Dota kind of took a back seat. I think I'm only at like 110, 115 games, and last week I was sitting right around 100. So I've not played much.
I'm still, give or take the same, around 2,300 in the party and around 2K solo. I haven't had a lot of time to play just due to finals and all that, but still got a few games in with you guys, and been wins, been some brutal losses, but it's all kind of
We've been winning. I feel like
a lot
overall,
more. Yeah,
we've
a lot
been
more,
winning.
it feels like.
See, and I had that opposite. I was sitting at the hotel with that miserable fucking internet, and it was so bad.
Well, if you can't be pushing 2 lanes as Shadow Shaman on 150 ping, then you're a noob, in my opinion. Yeah. Your ping was so terrible.
No, well, the thing was, it would be okay. It would be okay for these long, extended periods of time, and then it would just kick in the worst way possible. Where the delay was literally a 5 Mississippi.
I wonder if it's
right-click.
That's the type of bandwidth they allow, that if you were hitting some type of throttling on that internet, and then a lot of stuff started happening on the screen, and then they're like, no, that's when we cut.
Anyway, first world problem, I guess.
Definitely
I couldn't play Dota 2 while I was out of town.
But back on topic, I'm sitting around the same, 2350, I think. I'm close to 2400, still, average Joe Dota.
And I'm below that. I probably played them. I'm Roland, by the way. I probably play more than both of these two, Cyphus and Wazoo. I play
lately.
I play a lot. And I experiment with a lot of heroes, and my MMR stays right around down, actually. Like 1,200 single, 1,400 party. It's been fun still, though. I feel like I'm improving. Wazoo was talking about a theory that you get locked in a certain MMR because your teammates are of that skill.
It's the MMR trench, and it's something that I first read about in League of Legends before I even played Dota. And it was people complaining that their teammates were so bad that they couldn't get out of the bad level because they just kept getting terrible teammates, therefore locking them in a perpetual hell cycle.
Arguing from a statistics standpoint here, you're going to get paired with just as many of the bad team members as the people on the other team.
Why would you say that?
In a solo game...
Let's make it simple and say everyone's rated from a 1 to a 5.
Okay.
If you're only playing with players that are rated at a 2, why would you ever come out of a 2?
Because that's not how...
In a game of 5 players, how can one person that's even a 5 overcome that?
Because that's not how those systems work.
Sure.
You understand the basic concept.
And that's a simplification. That's an oversimplification.
But you do understand the concept behind
like
an ELO,
system.
right?
Yes.
How that works.
Of course.
Enlighten us.
It's a differential.
Sure.
So it's a differential that's based off of a bell curve, more or less. And your ELO places you at a certain point in that bell curve. And that allows us to determine the probability that you will win a game versus anybody else located in any other position on that bell curve. So if you're playing somebody that's dead even with you, that would be considered a toss-up, a 50-50. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. That's really cool to see it that way.
If it's determined that way, they assign certain point values based off of the difficulty of the match. So if it's a fair match, so say we determine, and these are arbitrary numbers, but say we determine the average fair point award for an even ranked match is 25. Okay. If I play somebody who I'm an 80% favorite to play, for instance, us playing that game with that guy who had a 3,200 MMR, you notice in that game, our MMRs only dropped by 8.
Sure.
Really low number.
So
right.
to give like a pictorial reference of how like this differential would work, if I'm looking at like a dartboard that's filled with darts, whatever dart I am, I'm going to be playing the darts that are closest to me.
I think a dartboard is a terrible analogy.
It was a good analogy, I thought.
No,
okay,
it's not, though.
Whatever dart surrounds my dart, is that
no.
around the same MMR?
No.
And I'm a math major, by the way, and
Yeah.
I'm like having an impossible time. Like,
Whoa, but we're talking about something more in my range, which is stats.
oh, soft science.
Yeah, soft
Sorry.
science.
Oh, yeah,
That's
soft
right.
science.
Yeah,
I'm
soft
sorry.
science.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't study
Never
that.
mind our statistics. Anyway.
But that makes more sense. And you see that point value, the 25 points.
But yeah, so my point being,
25
if you're
to
paired
50.
against those twos, let's say you have to assume half of the twos are terrible and half of the twos are okay for being twos, or probably twos who should maybe be threes. The odds of
They've
you
been working
getting
at being a 2 for
like
a while.
Someone who claims that they're in a trench, in an MMR trench,
Has a defeatist attitude. Completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Towards the game.
Or
and if you have a broken attitude and you're already a 2, imagine what a shitter you're going to be when you roll up on into 3 or 4 territory.
no,
If
but
you
there-
ever do.
Even worse
if you
is
ever do.
It's either that,
And
or
that's my
they're-
problem with MMR trench theory.
it's
And you hear it come up
yeah.
a lot at our level of play, where people are like, impossible to get out of 1400. Don't let people tell you that.
I just
Yeah.
turn on rap music and play Nature's Prophet and hope to like make it out of it, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's what I do.
I think that was. I placed in like 2K, and I played way before the MMR system. I played when they just had the normal matchmaking, and so I don't know if that, because there was already like an ELO in place for that system, and then they had a further Q split where they came out with the ranked, and then they used a actual display of the number. But I wonder if the first normal ranked matchmaking number ever went into the second ranked matchmaking, or if it was just the placement matches alone. I think all these are mysteries, really. But
I don't know.
Well, anyway, I'm going to get us back on track.
all right.
All right, do that.
That's our state of affairs. Not much progress, but we're going to be playing a bit more. We're also all college students, so when we hit this
school is
break
over.
here, yeah,
School
we're
is
going to
over
hit a break
here
here
very
pretty
soon.
quick, and
Yeah.
I'm going to kill some time with some Dota. That's for sure.
Oh, me too. As long as my fiance will let me.
Yeah.
Like, it's been harsh lately, but anyway, that's another story.
You just need to.
This is not
build
Roland
build a
therapy
pot,
hour.
dude.
Yeah. Okay, all right. We're gonna move on to my personal favorite game. Guess a hard counter. And this week the nomination is Templar Assassin.
We got this nomination from a viewer who frustrated, or I always say that, listener who expressed like some real frustration with TA, and she is a really frustrating hero to play at our level, so we felt like she was perfect for the cast.
Yeah, definitely. We've had some pretty obnoxious games with her, and I'm only just now learning even what she's capable of. Obviously I've never played her.
Wazoo, will you walk us through Refraction?
Refraction, people think. I mean, look. Let's take a look at Refraction from like observing Dota as a game. Like you have
Can
people.
I cut you off? Sorry, real quick.
Sure.
Let's just explain. Refraction is Templar Assassin's Q, right?
The thing that makes her what people think is invincible.
Is it her Q move?
I don't know.
Okay, so
it is. It's an ability she has. I don't know what slot it goes in.
So if you've never played,
Yeah, it's her Q.
if you've never played Templar Assassin,
Yeah.
this is what her Q ability does. Sorry to cut you off, Wazoo. Go ahead.
It's okay. As you scale up the ability, it gives you instances of damage you can take where it doesn't do any damage at all. So she's a really great mid, not just because of that, but because of Psionic Trap. She can throw those on the runes to monitor runes. And she's also fantastic because of her invisible move. It works like the Shadow Amulet that you use to build the
Shadow Blade.
Shadow Blade. It works like that exactly. You can't move. She goes down in a crouched position. She can be stunned out of it. She can be dusted out of it. It's purely a defensive move.
It's like, oh shit, I hope I don't die, and the fight like continues north.
And it works a
500
lot at their
units.
level of play.
It
People
does.
because they're so used to Ricky, and they're just like, oh, okay.
That's what breaks my alt
Yeah.
key
Yeah.
with my alt clicking, ding 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 ding, because I'm like Templar Assassin here, ding 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 ding, ding. And people are like, what?
Yeah.
They went the other
Oh,
way.
especially
Your
if
team goes
you,
to Rosh and
especially
wipes.
if you were not paying attention to her. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a slippery fuck, and I hate her.
All right.
That's why
All right.
Kunka's.
We're gonna guess a hard counter here.
Yeah.
All right.
Guess a
Wazoo,
hard
you want to
counter.
kick her off?
Yeah, I just said it actually. I was just gonna launch into it. It's late. give me a break. But my counter's going to be Kunkka, actually. I've laned Kunkka against TA to some good success for a couple of reasons. One is she's slippery as fuck, and so that X marks the spot with Kunkka is really awesome.
What does that do?
It marks someone, and then it takes a couple of beats, yeah,
it's
and
like
then
a map, like a treasure map.
It returns them back to the position.
Oh.
Later on. So they'll think they're escaping, and then it'll just rip them right back to you. You can time a boat with it.
Kind of like the
or a
Disruptor ability.
Yeah, a lot like that ability. Glimpse.
Glimpse. Thank
A
you.
lot like that. It is the same ability, really. I think Kunkka's great because not only that against TA, but Torrent is, and maybe I'm cheating, but multiple. I knew this was multiple instances of damage against TA. It's something like 10. So if you get her in a good Torrent, she gets hit all the way up and then comes down and gets hit all the way down.
How many total hits you think?
I think 10, but I'm not sure about that.
Oh, really?
10 individual little hits on that Torrent.
Which is exactly what you want. You don't want burst damage, you want trinkly damage.
But also, I'm going to say because of Tidebringer, that ability when he hits a creep or something and it makes the wave go out, that's going to hit on her shield and add an instant of damage every cooldown.
That's true, too.
I'm going to pick Kunkka.
Okay.
I, once again, got fortunate because I got to think, and I'm going to say Sand King. This is why. Instances of damage, Sandstorm. Sandstorm is going to do an instance of damage every second, so it's going to rip her shield to pieces, her refraction. 2, you want stun against her, right? And you want splash. Well, Sand King has awesome stun. He has that really awesome spiny stun where he comes up at the end. I think it's called Burrow Strike.
It's a great bread and butter stun.
And then look at his ult. If he just ulted where he thought Templar Assassin was, she'd just die. Sand King's ult where it's like...
Oh, and I forgot to mention about TA that we should probably tell our listeners. That when she comes out of that invis, she does additional damage.
Oh, yeah. But it's not going to kill Sand King, he'd probably live.
And Sand King's actually a really brilliant pick.
I think Sand King is a hard counter.
He's
and this is according to Dota Edge, right?
He's slow,
DotaEdge.com. We'll give him a plug.
Slow and squishy early game. That would be rough, but
you can stun her and Sandstorm. What about you, Cyphus?
I'm going to go Earthshaker on this one.
Yeah, I was thinking Earthshaker too.
Primarily because the stun. I mean, you've seen how many times
the Fisher.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a stun ability. Yeah. So, and you've seen how many times somebody's pinged that TA, and I've been able to when she's weak and just
I've seen
stun
you do
in
it
the
as
general
Lion
direction.
too.
Yeah, as Lion as well.
Yeah.
But
I
think Earthshaker though now just because as I'm beginning to further understand refraction, I think Earthshaker's ult is probably a pretty good response to that as well.
I wonder.
Multiple, you know what I mean? Massive instances
and he has
of
a lot of options for removing those instances. A lot of them, even that W. I mean, that slam and then the real quick follow up.
Yeah,
that's gonna be great too. I mean, and provide a stun. So sure.
All right.
See it.
Here we go.
So, once again, we're gonna give another shout out to this website. We don't even know who made it or anything. We just stumbled upon it. DotaEdge.com. You can plug in picks and it'll spit you out a hard counter. If you look into it, it's some really cool math that goes into it. A really cool
user generated. People will vote on counters, which is what we like about it. And not just that. It's not like we've been like running out the clock and using it to plug in counters. We've been plugging in our own team compositions, seeing what's strong against it, playing some captains, making sure that we're making correct picks according to these statistics. You know, kind of having a method. And so we're using these guys for their counters. It feels like it's pretty solid. And if they seem off, then correct us. You know, mail us or Twitter us at any location.
Yeah, correct our logic. Well, Sand King is on the list. So is Kunkka, but they are both only considered okay counters.
No way.
Well, and Earthshaker's on the list, but as an avoid pick. So I'm instantly
that's
out of the
why
running.
because she's gonna probably blink in if she gets a blink dagger or something and just destroy
against Earthshaker. Well, Earthshaker
because he's not terribly squishy, but he's still squishy.
He's squishy. I think the reason why they would say Earthshaker is an avoid picking is because he's squishy, because he can't deal damages. He can't deal damage.
Instances of damage.
So he can't deal 10 different hits fast. And his Fisher, as much as you want to think it's this awesome stun, it's more of a an alteration to
It's
the
a
map and a
blockade.
mini stun.
Yeah.
It's an alteration to the map. It's a disable
sure.
stun.
Yeah.
Is what it would be.
Well, I mean, Lion outdoes him as far as
It's
duration is concerned.
yes.
Yeah, by far. I think we
What are
talked
the
about
ratings?
that last
Will you-
podcast. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sand King's definitely the winner. Kunkka is a good counter, but at a rating of 0.42 out of 5.
And that's, I guess, anything above. So it's a differential how they do it. -5 to +5.
Yeah, well,
so
that would-
0 is average. So 0.4 is just pretty good against him.
Yeah. Is
Oh,
about
okay.
average.
That makes sense. Like the
and then
pH scale.
a 2.94 on Sand King.
So getting close to a great counter, but not quite there.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
great counter is 3.0 and above.
And
What is a great counter?
Hey, we need to. Hey, if anybody out
do you
there
know? I think
knows
Sand
anybody
King,
at DotaEdge.com, please tell them to tell us what the hell's going on. Maybe we completely misunderstand this.
Yeah, I think I just understood it more. What was it?
We're gonna research.
I'm
this.
saying that, like, thinking back on it, though, I think Sand
What
King
amateurs.
is the best pick.
Sand King?
Yeah, because think that Sandstorm, it's the most minimal, quick amount of damage you can deal in the game. I think.
I wonder how
Pretty
quickly
close.
it's stacking. Can you
We
look
wanna
up
know.
how quickly Sandstorm attacks? Is that possible?
I think
Can
it's
we
every,
find that
it's
information?
every second or two.
Is it
I
every
think it's
second, or is
quick.
it like every 0.6 seconds? Because if it's every 0.6 seconds or 0.5 seconds, then it's gonna rip through her shield in 5 seconds, or maybe 10 seconds. And if you can,
Well, she wouldn't
shield is in
be dumb
refraction.
enough to stay in it because it's rare that
But if she
you
just
know a
passes
TA
through it,
is
her
probably
refraction's
going
gone.
into invis to try to wait out the cooldown on her refraction, so she
Yeah.
can just oh, it's out. I gotta go invis. You know, it's like a
I
last
assume it's
ditch.
damage per second.
Yeah, so do I. Will
But-
you look up how often she can cast refraction on herself?
Yeah, sure.
Please. He's like the disc jockey over here. He's like, you're the DJ though. I think that's what DJ stands for, right? Disc jockey.
Yeah, Grandpa. Sure does.
Okay.
Let's see. Refraction. Templar Assassin becomes highly elusive, avoiding damage and gaining a bonus to her damage. The damage and avoidance effects are separate and have a limited number of instances. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Depending on level 1, 2, 3, 4. Bonus damage 24 to 60, 80. Duration 17, 17 across the board.
Can I?
I don't know.
Oh, so
Can I?
it lasts
Can I?
for
Can I?
17
Can I?
seconds.
Can I?
What are you,
I
like-
have a problem with a wording in that description.
What-
Highly elusive. Highly.
It is highly elusive.
highly elusive to get clubbed in the fucking face and not take any damage whatsoever. I don't think that's highly
That's
elusive.
not what's happening. She's avoiding the
She's
damage.
refracting it, dude.
To where?
To space, dude.
All right.
I don't know. To
That-
like
highly
space-time.
elusive.
That's the problem. That's the problem you have with the game right now. huh?
Space time or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
You want to know some of the better counters on that list?
no. Let's leave that to the viewers. Let's let them guess.
Oh, okay, fine.
I love that. Like you guys are viewing. Hopefully you're viewing us like at the back of your eyelids as you're listening to this. Like I'm calling you viewers. You're actually listeners.
I hope you're looking at a picture of Michael J. Fox and thinking it's me.
That's the only picture that won't shake.
Oh, you're
Had to edit that
yeah,
out.
that's getting edited out. Your Parkinson joke.
Yeah. I don't even know. I said Michael J.
that's
Fox.
that's not funny. That's in bad
No.
taste.
But Michael J. Fox is a cool guy,
He is a cool guy,
and he has
all
a great
about
sense of
optimism.
humor about his Parkinson's.
Yes, he does, and that's why I'm saying that because me and Michael are. Cool.
Yeah, you guys have each other's
Me and
phone
Mike are
numbers.
cool.
Sure.
We are.
All right, so I want to take us to the more serious part of the show because we have definitely digressed tonight, gentlemen. The topic I've chosen for us tonight is laning. When should I leave my lane?
When should I leave my lane? I like that.
So last week we talked about well, I think there are probably 3 basic ways you can lane. That's a tri-lane, either safe or hard, right? Or is a tri-lane primarily hard?
Well, you have... Okay, I'm going to be talking like it's Radiant side, so just switch it in your mind.
No.
Think
Well,
about
I mean,
it.
you can still go.
But I'm
easy or
explaining...
hard.
I have to... No. You have to understand what I'm saying first.
Oh, gotcha.
A tri-lane top for Radiant is going to be what's considered a defensive tri-lane because you're sending 3 heroes to try to deny their safe lane carry farm. And if you send 3 heroes bottom, it's called a defensive tri-lane because you are escorting your safe lane carry to all that farm. There's 2 heroes with him. So really when you hear that term, that's what it means. It's where you're sending those 3 heroes. It's where you're investing those resources in the map. You're either trying to deny farm or you're trying to gain more farm for the person who needs it the most.
Okay. So that's an option. But so really, I guess 4 options then. Either a tri-lane hard or a tri-lane safe. Traditional laning, which is going to be 2 hard, 2 safe, 1 mid, and then the jungler option, which is typically 2 safe, 1 jungle, 1 mid, 1 hard, right?
And
Yeah.
and
Or you can even have a solo offlane
for
try,
the
yeah.
for the jungle. So I guess I haven't seen enough pro games or what have you, but when we pick a jungle, what lane should suffer? Like, what is the most advantageous lane to
Ideally, you'd have
suffer?
a solo offlane,
Solo
and then you'd
offlane?
have your...
Why does he have to, like, solo the hard shit? You know what I mean?
Because you're not going to get much farm up there anyway. I mean, look at it this way. Like, they can pull those creep waves as much as they want. Like, and you need to be a durable hero that can, like, escape or do something like that.
Like Darkseer.
Right. Or you're not going to live. And you just want to be soaking up experience, getting
Or Lone Druid.
Yeah, he's a good offlane.
Yeah.
And so you have your solo off, and then you would have someone in the jungle, and then you would probably have a hard support with your safe lane in your safe lane carry lane, and then you'd have a mid. You know, so that's ideal.
That makes sense.
Ideal
That makes sense.
farm.
Okay.
Okay. Well, but here's
Okay.
my question.
Okay.
And I think this is something that impacts all of us in some fashion or another. I know I've been feeling it a lot as a support lately. When do you leave your lane? When is the right time?
It's just kind of a feeling, isn't
No,
it?
I mean in general. Because I think there are a number of situations where you're supposed to
It
leave
really
your lane.
depends on your job. If you are a safe lane carry, you probably shouldn't leave your lane.
I like that. Depends on your job.
But if you're a mid, you should be ganking, right? So you should leave your lane when you find an advantageous rune.
How about a jungler?
A jungler should be coming into probably his lane if he can to help with kills
Like gank?
occasionally.
Like
Yeah.
the Chen ganks with those centaurs.
Sure.
Those
I mean,
early
those
centaurs.
are great, and people don't expect that
Yeah.
much stun that early.
That early, that much damage. That's like another dude on your team when you have a centaur at
Yeah.
level 1 or 2.
Yeah, they don't expect that stun, and if you have another hero like Sven that has an additional stun to stack on top of that centaur stun, there's trouble. You know,
Yeah.
like that stuff in Dota that early on makes a big difference.
It's true.
And if you can do it throughout the game, just getting, like you said, it is a feeling, but that feeling you're describing is called game sense, and it's knowing when it's advantageous to come out and snag a hero kill and then go back to the jungle.
Okay, how about for health and mana?
For-
When do you draw the line? When do you
I'd
leave
like
lane?
to speak passionately on this
I
topic.
would like to as well. You go first, Wazoo.
I've been talking, so I'll give you stage.
Okay, here's the thing about laning. We're noobs, so we run back to Fountain and waste our money on TP scrolls back to get into lane because our health's too low or our mana's too low.
I gotta.
And
Well, I'll let you
people-
finish, but I gotta disagree with
Sure.
you there.
No, I'm just saying this happens. People do this. I'm not saying I do. I don't. I avoid doing this. What people have to understand, especially in this 1400 trench that I'm in, or whatever you want to call it, is build items that make you survivable. And when you hear pros say survivable, it means to stay in the lane for as long as you can.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
and I think our points are going to actually meld very well because we're probably making the same point here. And when you get to a certain level of play, that extra 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe even a minute that you can eke out over your other people in the lane is going to make a
Exactly.
huge difference.
Experience a difference. It's experience difference.
And this is another point I'll add. People at our level have a terrible time, like, for some reason, buying a few clarities, buying a couple salves, and just having your courier deliver it to you in the field.
because
What-
you want your
what's wrong with
Vladimir's
that?
offering now. That's why.
No, but
that's why
think
people
about
do
this.
that.
You
know
leave
what I
the
mean?
lane with low health and mana, okay?
Sure.
You go all the way back. You're gaining that gold as you go, of course. But
The
it's
1 gold per second.
whatever.
Or whatever. Yeah.
But you walk all the way back to the fountain, you wait, and then you buy a TP scroll for 135, and then you poof back.
Which, don't get me wrong, buying the TP is worth the money.
But you
instead
buy
of
what
walking.
you should be doing
Yeah,
is buying the clarity, buying the salves or tangos or whatever, those survivable items in the beginning so they keep you going.
Right.
But then you should be getting them delivered to you. Why not?
Yeah.
Get a couple more
Exactly.
last hits. Or,
Exactly.
you know, if you're with good teams, your support might
Exactly.
love you and buy it. Your hard support might buy it for you.
Oh, when I
and
buy
bomb it on you.
support, when I go support 2 tangos right off the bat, and I'm sharing those with my carry.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably usually get a courier send me a tango when those run out. Like, you want
Tangos are a
regeneration.
good item, man.
Yeah, it's maybe
They're
the
a really
best
good
item in the
item.
game. I know it's not a
TP
divine
scroll,
rapier.
best item.
Yeah, TP scroll would. Hey, best item in the game. What do you guys think? Tweet us.
I think that answer.
I think
is
you've been
always
wanting to
going
say
to be
something,
it,
Cyphus.
no, I'm just going to say the answer to that question is always it depends.
It
Yeah.
depends.
Come on.
What a
Come on.
shitty answer. If you
But,
give
I
me
mean,
any
that's
"it
the
depends"
answer.
on Twitter,
You know what I think it is for you, Roland? I
What's
think it's
that?
not boots. But they are actually really good. They are. They're a good item.
Boots may be the best item
Can
in
I-
the game.
They'd be pretty close.
Most-
What else? It's such a rare.
What else is-
move speed is such a rare commodity.
Can
in
I
that game.
present a math thing at some point? Like now?
Not this episode.
Not this
No,
episode?
No.
Can we have a Roland's Corner mathematics? Like, give me 5 minutes to explain boots?
We'll give you like a little 5-minute special. And we'll
Can
like,
I
look,
have
we'll,
that?
We'll, you can,
Not
hey,
now.
That's the point of the website.
You can
defenseofthepatients.com.
You can put it
go
on
there,
YouTube.
You write a blog. You put it on
'Cause
YouTube.
I can-
explain it on your whiteboard.
I
You
can
big nerd.
quantify what boots can
You
do
can't
and
quantify.
cannot do
You
for
can't.
you.
You
Okay?
can't quantify situations though. You can't quantify
You
losing
can't.
kills and goals.
But a
that you
psychologist
need.
would think you could. Or a chaos theorist. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Both
Wow.
just as ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Cyphus, carry on, please.
Okay. I think that brings us.
I'm sorry.
I feel like we accomplished nothing with that discussion.
I think so.
No,
laning. The laning.
When you
Back
leave
to
the
that.
lane, yes, that's what I'm
back
trying to get
that.
to.
Sorry.
So okay, so I understand. Yes, you try to and so I guess you did respond to that question as far as do you go back for health or mana, and in your opinion, it's have the courier deliver it. But what?
Okay,
buy it
but it's
and
also
then have the courier
situational.
deliver it.
If your hard lane tower just gets pushed out and you lost 2 guys and maybe you got a favorable trade and you see everyone go back, maybe that's all right to go up to the fountain, heal up, grab a TP, go wherever you want to go.
Right.
But it's not okay in those early stages of the game where you're really trying to eke out any small advantage so you can get rolling. It's not okay to be like that faceless void who's a third of mana heading back to the fountain and he's just like
okay. So I think we've covered that. I think everybody gets that. I mean, really, the point is. Yes, this game is all about incremental advantages. You always want to be the one who's in the lane the most.
Not necessarily even killing the enemy hero. You want to be making space for yourself, sure.
Yeah,
but
you want them.
You want to be there and have them not be able to make you leave.
Yeah,
more
you
or
want
less.
them out of the lane and you in the lane at all times.
Right.
So, but sometimes getting them out of the lane requires someone else to leave lane. When should you be leaving the lane? And I guess maybe more appropriately, who should be leaving the lane and when? Let's have that discussion.
Okay.
It's such a difficult question. We have 100.
No, it's not,
We have
really.
100 plus different heroes.
No, I mean
It's so circumstantial.
I'll just give you a hypothetical. I know what you're saying. So, say a hard support like Crystal or something goes top with Sven, and I'm saying, or I'll say bottom. We're on Radiant side. Goes bottom safe lane. That Crystal, say that Sven is just taken off. They've gotten a couple kills, and so he's doing fine. She'd be then able to leave and go roam and start throwing out stuns other lanes don't expect and hoping to make that advantage roll out to the rest.
So
of the
primarily, you
game.
think supports and mids
really hard supports,
are the ones
I
who
think
are
is what
leaving.
he's saying.
Yeah.
But then you look at the circumstance of Crystal Maiden and that she is very great to roam because that Aura mana regen, it doesn't matter where the hell she
Right.
is. You're always getting
it's
that.
map wide.
So,
that region.
maybe giving that extra experience and not being in lane to your carry Sven, who's already gotten 2 kills, is smart. I feel like it's another feeling thing when you should leave the lane. It's extremely hard to be you should always leave the lane if you're this hero in this circumstance at this moment in the game.
I think-
And that's not what I'm talking about.
I think you can break it down into a simple flow chart, which is, okay, hard lane has their job. You know what your hard lane is? If you're a solo, off lane, say you're Bat Rider, you know what your job is? It's just to fuck with their hard carry as much as you can in that safe lane.
Drag him around.
Yeah, deny all his experience, deny as much as you can. You're not even really trying to get farmed. So, and if you have 2 people up there, that's all you're really doing because you're hard lane. You're really trying to deny their carry. That's your position. And then when you're in the safe lane, you're trying as a hard support to gain an advantage for your carry. And if you do that, your job's done there. If he can stand his own and they can't touch him, and if they run towards him, he stuns him in the face and cleaves him down. Go roam. Go carry that advantage out to the rest of the lanes.
And
but who do you think should be making those calls?
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
The person who has established themselves on the team as the person who makes calls. And I think Wazoo has established that in our little group that we play, is that, hey, we need this here.
But
we
don't you
need
think
that
that's
there.
don't you think that's difficult to do as a carry? I mean, really, should all of your mental faculties not be focused
On those
on a very
Well, no, you're
repetitive
carry.
move,
I think you have time as a carry. I mean, I play carry position sometimes. Usually is our 1, as you know, and I usually will take the 2 or the 3 spot, and you'll take like the 5, but you choose to do that. Cyphus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Why are we treating like support like it's a disease?
Yeah.
You see it so much. It's like you wanted to play the 5, the hard support, but you asked for it, man. You asked for it.
Exactly.
It's just like you asked for this terrible torture.
I mean, it's easy to make calls when you're the hard carry because you know exactly what you need, and you're going to call it out. You're going to say, "My health's low. Hey, give me a tango."
Well, realistically, everyone is. To answer your
Sure.
question, everyone's making the call. Your hard lane needs to be able to communicate. Look, guys. This juggernaut or whoever down here is getting wicked fed, and I can't stop him. He's going to start rolling. If you can communicate that, then your mid ideally would be able to go down and like help him gank, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And I mean, you see what you can do as a team because people don't realize like, and it's so weird in a team game. You think like, and this is so simple that coming out it almost sounds banal, but like, if you lose the lanes, you lose the game. And so
Wow.
if you're losing your
that might have
fucking
been
bottom
the
lane,
latest
Wait,
and
wait.
4 of your friends like we'll be like that, man.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
we'll be like we're losing our hard lane, and like 3 guys will be top, and they'll be like, "Qua?" when you ask, and you're just like, "Ah, yeah, okay."
No, it's so true. I love that where it's
And
like,
it's like they don't realize that if you lose your lanes, you lose for real, man.
Yeah, it's not
you lose
just
for
us
real.
losing; it's you too.
Yeah.
it's fun. It's so funny. Me and 3 flow will be like safe lane. You'll be mid, let's say, and you'll be like solo off lane as silencer, and it'll be like, I'm getting fucked up here. I'm getting fucked. And it's like me and 3 flow bottom lane are just owning our lane. And he's like, I'm getting fucked.
Well, that's kind of like the psychology of Dota. Can you recognize that when things are going well for you, they're not going well for the team? Because it takes
Exactly.
it takes time for people to be. It's going great for me,
It's
but
an-
I can't accept the reality that this game is probably going to shit town pretty
And
quick
then-
if we don't do
It's
something.
an interesting social experiment.
It is,
sure.
It is. And then top tower falls, and I'm like, God damn it, Cyphus, what are you thinking?
yeah.
You blame that
can't
guy?
hold off lane,
Oh,
and you're like, I've been calling for the last 5 minutes.
You look at the chat and it's like help, 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 help,
Yeah,
help for like
exactly.
12 lines.
this may be a good nomination for worst way to die, but probably one of the most frustrating things playing a Vive lately has been getting shit for dying while placing a ward that someone asked me to place.
Okay, I'd love to counter argue this as soon
Yeah.
as you're done.
It's not really an
Cyphus.
argument. We all nominate. If I remember how this works.
Counter argue.
No, I
Yeah.
would like to say something about your warding. Is
Oh,
what I
sure,
what I
sure.
meant there. What are you like? The ward conqueror or something? You don't run into battle the ward like you're the flag bearer, dude. Like don't run into the
That's
battle
not what
the
I'm
ward.
doing.
We can
No,
wait.
no.
This is what he
wait.
means. This is
No.
what he means. Can I be your champion?
I've seen your wards.
Let me be your champion.
Oh, no.
I've seen your wards.
No.
You run into battle to place wards,
I-
and that's your fucking problem. And
I
that's
place
why
a
I'm
ward.
giving
He's
you
not
issues.
talking-
The reason I place a ward when we're fighting is because that's the perfect time to place it.
You're
More
running in
fighting
there,
will
and
be
I'm like,
going down.
Cyphus back, Cyphus back, Cyphus back.
I'm not
You
pla-
died to place a ward, really? I will.
That happened
Oh,
once.
no.
You maybe need to defend that because hey,
No.
you're a suicide
All
bomber,
right,
dude.
please, help me here.
Okay. First of all, what he's talking about, and I'm sure we all have boneheaded moves, but that was a pretty boneheaded move when you died planting the word.
It was.
Sure.
It was like, I almost like saw an American flag on that green ward.
Yeah.
Like, just for the freedom aspect of like what
Sure,
you're trying to accomplish. But, he's talking about situations where people are like, go ward Rosh, and you're like, okay, and you go and ward and you get jumped, and they're like, fucking SS.
Is that what
And
you're
you're like,
Oh, yeah.
It's like the same guy who asked you to ward.
And the reason
It's like,
they're asking you
you
to
ask
ward,
him to help you go ward, and he won't do it.
Yeah.
He just stays in front
and
of
they
his
want
lane.
you to ward. And in fact, like, oh yeah, it happens a lot, especially when I'm supporting near Rosh, the lane near Rosh,
And then you just get ganked.
because somebody's like, go ward Rosh, and I'll say, hey, can you go with me? I got a farm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll run down there because hey, what's the worst that can happen? I hex somebody and try to run back. Every time I do it, I swear
then
to
you-
God,
and then
there's
you
a
use your
4-man
ward-
team running to Rosh at that moment.
And then you use your
Because we're
wards to
warding
try to
Rosh.
survive. You try to use your serpent wards to try to survive, and everyone's like, fucking stupid wards.
Waste the serpent
So
wards.
you're saying you're a 5 then,
stupid.
Cyphus, right?
Yeah, no.
Where's your smoke of deceit? when you're going to place that ward?
Yeah.
Where's your smoke of deceit? If you're a
Sure,
5, where's your
sure.
smoke of deceit?
You know why Smoke of Deceit always feels worthless for me? Because I never feel like I have another support that's working with me, that's moving with me.
You don't want another support. You
Yes,
want to
you
grab
do.
a carry. You
Yes,
want to
you
pick up a carry and run with
No,
a carry.
and that's
and
where you're
gank.
wrong, sir. The 2 supports should be yes.
Defend that. I'll shred
I will
that
gladly.
like a
It
shredder,
depends.
dude.
I'll give you a list of games from the international to go
Do,
watch.
do.
I
and
will.
You know what I'll do? I'll watch every single one.
And you'll know what you'll see. The fucking support sticking together, smoking up, wandering around, disabling, initiating the first blood all the time.
What are the pros now, dude? The pros are scrubs.
The pros, yeah. What are they?
What are
It's
the-
not
what
like
do
you can make any money playing this fucking game.
I sent Roland a text one time telling him that I was watching a game where a guy was playing Nature's Prophet. I think it was the in the grand final.
And you won't believe it, Roland.
said-
He bought boots.
Yeah, it's like, hey, guess I
bought boots,
I
Roland.
said, hey, so and so builds phase boots with Nature's Prophet. He's like, what does he know? The guy.
God, Roland.
I mean, I've got to be, look, I'm changing the meta. That's what I am. I'm like Jesus Christ of this scene.
I
dude.
call it meta retard
Meta
because I'm retarded on a lot of levels.
Okay, all right. Let's
Let's play a game.
play a game. What do you want to
game?
play?
I want to play the Guess the Background. And didn't we have a
Okay.
perfect hero picked out for this week on Guess the Back? We did. What was it?
Leshrac.
Was it Leshrac?
I think so.
How
No,
was
it wasn't.
I want to. He's a horseman that shoots laser beams.
I'd rather figure out where Shadow Shaman came from.
All
because I
right.
don't even know
Shadow
what
Shaman,
like. I don't even know what
yeah.
Okay,
species he is.
we've talked about him.
He's
a bit.
like a
Or
shadow
we
man.
we could
He's a
do
shadow shaman.
We could do TA.
Templar. Well, Templar assassin.
I
I don't
think-
care about her. Whatever.
I-
Whatever
I
her
think-
backstory is, I don't care.
Yeah, she's pretty easy to guess. I would guess that she came from a temple.
What if
and
we
that
did
she's an
Earthshaker?
assassin.
We're always talking about Earthshaker. What? I want to know what Earthshaker's background is.
We'll do it some other time, man.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Or
Let's-
Wraith King.
I mean, look.
Who are we doing?
I'm
Who
going to
we
show
doing?
you a picture of Shadow Shaman.
Shadow Shaman.
I'm gonna show you.
Dude, I've seen Shadow Shaman. He has really bright flare things, and he's like a mummy.
Don't those look like ears?
He's like a ninja.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
don't-
a...
We should start saying now
He's
that it's episode 2
ritualistic.
whether they fight for the dire or radiant side.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
That's a good idea.
Well, okay, all right. For your guess,
It's definitely dire.
he's a ranged hero. Primary stat is int, and he is actually the radiant.
Well, you'll see that a lot of
Really? The
humanoids,
radiant.
a lot of humanoids are radiant, and all like the beastlies are dire.
It's because they're carnal.
Yeah. Shadow Shaman. He's fighting for. Can I just jump right into this one here?
All right, yeah.
Cyphus,
Take
can
a
I
lead.
just jump right into this?
Sure.
Roland? Is that all right?
let's do it.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking this guy had a dark past. No pun intended. I think he was drawn to the shadow from a young age. I think that perhaps his ability to conjure little flames of serpents out of his palms scared him a little. I think he picked up chicks with that shit. I think he scared the fuck out of himself jacking off one time and blew flames all out. And I think that stun
hot
is
dream.
like one of the best things in the game.
It's shackles.
bind you.
I'm bind
Yeah,
you.
he
I
definitely
hate
sounds
that.
older and wiser now.
But he is
Older-
a radiant sider,
Sure.
you know.
A
Like
radiant cider.
he's probably just fighting for like. I think he's known. I think he's seen a lot of battle. This one.
Yeah, probably. So
just start saying generalizations.
what in like ancient history when like they banned the Bible, but like some people or not a lot of people knew how to read, and like maybe the Bible was banned or something. I'm not a historian. Anyway, but there were like those few like old gentlemen that could like read the Bible, and they like carried on the good word.
I think those were called Hebrewmen.
I don't know what they're called. We'll call them apostles. What's
what-
an apostle?
You were the least religious person in the world.
I'm definitely not very
religious book?
Right? Is this maybe? Did you ever,
like a scribe? I don't know.
You should have taken that history course.
I should have taken that
should've,
history course.
should've.
Anyway, dude, he's just some old guy that like believes in some weird shit, and people have moved on, dude. People have moved on.
No. People have not. I'm gonna go pop a fucking boner on this one.
People.
I think he worships Shadow Fiend.
Shadow. Ooh, that's pretty cool.
No, never.
But he
No.
doesn't really
No.
exhibit any traits.
Shadow Fiend's for sure a dire side.
This serpent
Yeah.
thing that he does, like that seems Bible-y. Weren't there like snakes in the Bible.
Oh, so no, I
He's
suspect...
not. Are you
And it's a
joking?
ward.
This isn't Bible
He's
fighter,
like a fire
dude. There's
god.
no Bible
He
heroes
worships
in
some
Dota. What the
He's
hell
like
are
a
you
champion
talking
of a
about?
fire god. But he wears that weird like ear things. Like his ears are wooden planks.
Yeah, and he either
looks like a ninja
He's either
guy.
feline or like canine.
He's like a ninja guy.
Can't really tell.
I don't
gonna go
know.
with he gained his power by binding shadow demons.
Dude,
That's as good as I got.
he's an old man that worships an
All right.
old book.
Here we go. Born in the Bleeding Hills, Rasta. Rasta was just a starving youngling when picked up by a traveling con man. For 2 pins of copper, the old con man would tell your fortune. For 3, he'd castrate your pig. For 5, he'd circumcise your sons. For a good meal, he'd don his shaman garb, read from his ancient books, and lay a curse upon your enemies. His strange new youngling, part hill troll, part something else, worked as assistant and lent an air of the exotic to the con man's trade. Always one step ahead of cheated customers, one town ahead of a pursuing patronage, the two trekked across the blighted lands until one day the con man realized that the little youngling could actually do what he only pretended at. His ward had a gift that customers valued, and so the crowds and the trade name Shadow Shaman was born. The two continued from town to town conjuring for money as Shadow Shaman's reputation grew. Eventually the pair's duplicitous past caught up with them, and they were ambushed by a mob of swindled ex-clients. The con man was slain, and for the first time, Rasta used his powers for darkness, massacring the attackers. He buried his beloved master, and now uses his powers to destroy any who would seek to do him harm.
Yeah, or that.
You know, or that. I feel like we did a better job.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
pretty generic.
Well,
I mean, there
Con
was stuff about castrating pigs. I was worried
That was the
you were...
best part.
But why would you give him coins? I figured, like, just give him a good meal. Don't give him any coins, is what it
So
sounded like.
he pretty much, this was his fallback career, it feels like. Shadow Shaman wanted to be something else, but he was like, I need to eat, so I guess I'll go be a Shadow Shaman. What else did he want?
Gotta be
I
better.
want to know what that guy wanted. I want to know what he
gotta
really
be better
wa-
than castrating pigs. It's gotta be
Yeah, but that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Weird.
depends on the pig.
Weird.
better. Well, that feels like a really weird note to potentially end things on.
Oh, we're not ending it on that. I think we need to come up with a dissertation.
Worst way to
defend.
die, motherfucker. Let's play it.
Oh, I don't really have a good nomination
I
this
do.
week. Lag.
Lag is the worst way.
Lag.
Worst way to die. I was playing Faceless Void,
Okay.
and I had Chronosphered on 3 heroes.
Nice. So a victory.
This was actually on Radiant side hard lane. We were playing Radiant right under the tier 2. We were fighting right there. Went in on this Mirana and Bristleback,
Okay.
and obviously that was bad. And so I first started attacking the Bristle.
Was his back to you?
Quill, no. But he wasn't quilling, obviously, because he was chronoed. But, like, he doesn't die. And so I, like, got 2 hits on him, and then went to the Mirana, realized I couldn't get her, tried to run back towards the tower, got arrowed, and then Bristle killed.
That's
Report
terrible.
Faceless Void.
Dude, I had a bad one. I've been playing Nature's Prophet a lot, and Faceless Void's doing his thing. He's on the opposite team, and he throws down a Chronosphere, exactly where I'm teleporting.
Oh, you
and I
teleported
and I
into
didn't
it.
press S. I didn't stop my teleport, so I teleported in to a time zone, dude, to a time lock zone.
It's not a time zone. man.
Whatever, a timeless
It's
zone.
a time blister. It's a
Yeah.
herpes,
And-
space herpes.
He just like chink, 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 chink. Blah.
So, did he
Yeah.
throw the chrono down on another hero, and then you were like a bonus kill?
Yes, that's
yeah.
exactly what happened.
So you just decide.
Could you imagine that guy's glee as you throw down a chronosphere thinking you're going to take down one and then another just gives himself
stuff
to you?
like that happens in Dota,
Oh.
and you're just like, what the fuck?
Speaking of, so we can get to defend your dissertation. If I can afford it, and we are ahead, I will always buy a divine rapier as Nature's Prophet.
You know what's embarrassing about all these things you're saying? Like, yeah, I'm gonna shift the meta and all that stuff. Like, you act like noobs haven't been already saying this for years in Dota.
Oh, I'm gonna build a divine rapier.
And I did.
And I don't get boots, but I'm gonna get the item that can drop and throw the game for everyone.
We did have.
That's
I'm
the
just
best
saying
thing.
that to be funny. I'm not going to defend that.
Yeah.
I bought a divine rapier as Nature's Prophet earlier this week, and it's a close game. Like we're missing a couple like 4 racks. They're missing like 3, and I'm gonna buy a divine rapier as Nature's Prophet, and that way I'll just like right click people down and win.
You already
I
should
go
be
into-
doing that, by the
I
way,
go in-
without the Divine Rapier.
Well, I was like plus 600 or something. It was crazy. Go into the fight and die immediately, and I'm like, get the divine rapier, get it. The guy who was owning us all game gets my divine rapier and then wins the game.
That's called.
It was rough.
That's called
And that's
humility.
That's report Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Luckily, everybody we
We
knew.
should
I
have
probably
we
still
should
got
have a
reported.
game called Report So and So Hero and include a very boneheaded.
Yeah, we could
Okay,
try that
okay.
this week. You do.
Well, I just did with Report Faceless Void. I think that's what they said for that chrono, and I deserved. To be
Yeah,
report-
we
If
should.
there was like a big floppy dick emblem that you could click to report someone, like that's what I would be reporting.
Report Skywrath with Aghanim Scepter.
You can't really report people for building an item, though. You know,
No, that
there's
is
nothing
bullshit,
there
dude.
for that.
Oh, got out of that one, okay?
I
Oh, got out of that one, okay? Dead, dude.
Yeah.
You can't report the hero for killing you.
Bullshit.
That's not what report.
For everybody who reports a Skywrath with an Aghanim
Oh,
Scepter...
no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. I love playing Skyrath.
Well, you love playing 3 heroes, I know.
Oh, please.
You
I'm
play,
not
what do you
even
play?
gonna- I'm not even gonna
Silencer
get
and
into this
Lion and
conversation.
Skywrath?
And Earthshaker and
We'll
Shadow
talk about it.
Shaman.
Oh, that's a great one. Hey, maybe next week we'll have Cyphus defend his Dota dissertation on why he doesn't play any heroes at all. Are you even playing Dota? You're playing like 1/64th of Dota.
Oh, I'm playing Dota. I told you,
No,
my strategy
I
is
think you've got a mixed up view of Dota, honestly, and I'll tell you why, and I'll shoot you down right now. Dota is Dota. Played with 1 hero or played with 100 heroes.
No,
You're still playing Dota.
I do agree
Just
with
because
him
you don't play all
an
the
extent.
heroes doesn't mean you're not playing Dota. I can't proficiently play all the heroes. I know many pros who can't because they specialize in certain roles. And also, I knew one guy who played 800 fucking games with Kunkka. There was a post on Reddit, and he was just like really good at Kunkka. And that guy's cool, you know, cooler than you.
Is
Cool,
that guy
okay.
really cool?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
I just really like Kunkka.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, Cyphus.
Oh, no.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I should have told you sooner.
Oh, that I need to play more.
Yeah,
That I need to play more heroes.
Playing some more heroes.
I play plenty of heroes. I told you I refuse. I'm gonna learn. I refuse to play in a ranked match with a new hero that I've never played before.
Why?
Can I pose to you?
Because I'd like to work on my MMR and actually build it and develop it.
Can
with
I
skill.
pose to you, gentlemen, 2 doors? One is called a big dick, who
Lots of
plays
dicks.
every hero he can, but loses, goes from 1400 MMR to much lower. Or a guy who plays a core set of heroes that are good in many situations and continues to grow and nurture his MMR.
I think even core implies like 4. Like core implies like 4 or 5.
Oh come on! I think
he
I
plays
think I
hard
have 6.
supports. Like you're
I think I have 6.
You got to realize right now, man, you're like the drunk dude beating up on his wife that's about to leave him. Like he's our only hard support, and you're like, play more heroes, and watch him like come in with Visage, and you're just like, fuck. Like where's our hard support,
I
man?
played Visage once. That's hard.
I don't
dude.
ever want to see you
have
do
to
that.
You have to drop the. It's hard.
They're like gargoyles that
Yeah,
you drop
it's-
on
it's-
people's heads.
And everyone's like, drop your gargoyles, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get last hits, you know.
no,
And-
I'm fine with your learning style, and I'm fine with your learning style. You're learning.
Well, I just
all
would
the heroes
rather.
you
I would
can.
rather learn the mechanics in a bot match, play him a couple of times in a pub match, and then I'll rotate him into the.
As a responsible doterer.
Oh, I played Invoker.
Yeah, how did that go?
Holy shit! I have so much goddamn respect for people who play Invoker. I went the Quaz route, which is the middle one, the W. It's like the Cold Snap, like WWW is Cold Snap. WWE is like Ghost. No, QW is Ghost Walk. Anyway, you have to memorize a shitload of stuff, and you have to like be pressing it a lot and pressing it.
Yeah, you got to know things and push buttons.
Dude, those guys that like tornado.
And I wasn't in the jungle killing guys that couldn't talk back to me. And I think I had to buy boots. It was a confusing experience.
I love that one. Oh.
Okay, all right. I'm calling
You
it.
turn into like Pepe Le Pew in my mind.
I'm calling it here.
You're
All right.
calling what?
I'm calling this cast over. It's good.
Yeah.
We've digressed enough and we've talked enough. We barely got any strategy in.
We got strategy in.
A little bit.
So with Invoker, QQE, Ghost Walk, dude, they can't see you.
That's what you
And one time it reminds me, 'cause instead of boots, I got a shadow blade.
Hey, thank you.
And it made me go ghost walk mode.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. If you haven't, I'm really sorry.
I haven't. I've had to sit with you two bastards.
But hey, if you did happen to enjoy this podcast, or maybe you enjoyed last episode better, and if you did, we ask that you remember us for that podcast,
Not
and
this
not this
one.
one. But if you like this one more than the last one, feel free to
Forget
do
about
it the
that
other way
one.
around.
You should
Yeah,
remember
forget
us
about that last
for
podcast.
whatever
It's all about this one.
you want.
I
But
fi-
what
I
you should
fixed a lot
do
of
is
things.
Yeah,
email in.
It is better
Tweet us at
quality.
our show accounts. We're going to list those off now for you on our shout-outs. I want to give some quick shout-outs to some people that we've been involved with. Windrunner.cc, it's a TeamSpeak 3 server that is fantastic, accommodating, and completely free. Just completely free. You don't have to pay a dime ever. Clan servers, everything you need, all free. We all know how frustrating it is to not be able to talk to people in the in-game client. So,
Yeah.
I'm just giving them a plug.
I'd like to give a shout out to my main man Purge. Me and Purge go way to the way back.
Page, are you single? Should I buy boots?
me and Mr. Godek, been friends a while. He doesn't really get back to me very often.
Yeah.
On my fan mail when I cut my hair and send it to him.
It's funny.
Um,
It's more like a stalker-stalky relationship.
Well, he'll remember
Yeah.
me from that one time.
Yeah.
And of course, I want to give a shout out to you two
Oh, thanks.
for defending my patience.
Oh, sure.
There,
And if you want to reach us, so real quick, we actually have some real business to cover here. That's if you want to email the show, defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. If you want to find more podcasts, see what blogs we start writing and kind of get into, defenseofthepatients.com is now up and running. You can find us on Facebook, Defense of the Patients. Just give a quick search, and I think you'll be able to locate us.
Or .p. Because I had to do a first name and a last name.
Oh, so you
So
did
it's
.p.
Defense of the
.p.
Patients. Patients?
patience.
Defense of the Patients.
Defense of my pension. It's about the railroad, dude. Where railroad
It's just
pension's going.
.p, like first name .p, last name .p.
And then, yes,
they get it.
You can hit us on Twitter at .p, DOTP_show. You can hit each of us up on Twitter at .p_Cyphus.
I'm .p_Wazoo at Twitter and .pwazoo@gmail.com. Hit those up, guys. We will get back to you, and Roland will get to his.
Can I?
No, you're off the show. We've decided we're not even going to actually.
Open casting call for next week's episode.
We can fly you in. You know.
You guys don't pay me anything. Mine is DOTP or .p, Defense of the Patients. .p_Roland at Twitter. I'm very active on my Twitter, and I'd like you to argue with me because that's what Dota's about, right? Let's argue about some
boy.
strategies.
Or open just friendly discussions.
Well, I'm gonna
Right,
be
right.
nice.
That's
I'm not gonna be like, you fucking idiot.
You know how much of a nerd I am? When you said you guys don't pay me any money, my first reaction was to say, get more last hits then.
Yeah, that's pretty nerdy.
How would you get real life last hits? I just want to say, like, would you go on like last hit, like dying dogs?
I think last hits would be like a clever remark.
No, that was morbid.
Like a clever remark would
I'm
be
just
like,
wondering.
yeah, you think it's like killing
The idea
squirrels and stuff
of
like
last
that?
hits are pretty morbid.
No, I think it's like a clever remark would be a last hit. Maybe we could bring that back. Like, tweet us your best last hits against your friends.
No, what we want to do,
No.
back to
I'm vetoing
I'm an
that
innovator,
idea.
dude. I'm an innovator.
guys, tweet us your best ways to die. Tweet us guys you want to see hard countered. Tweet us people you want to see us butcher their
Backgrounds.
biographies, because we love making it up, and we would love to build a community around this, and we'd love to do it with your ideas.
Thank you. That's very true. And then after you give us all your great ideas, please go tell your friends to listen to us so that they can hear your great ideas come out of us.
And I'd love to hear interesting ways. And if you want to send in clips, tweeting clips, all that of you dying in hilarious ways or doing stupid things in Dota, like
we love to
some of the
watch 'em.
only ways to get through the pain is to share.
Email it to
Share.
us. Email it to us, and we will tweet that shit.
And
We'll
I'll
send
watch
that
it.
All
shit
right,
out.
all
and
right.
I'll
We have
laugh.
talked about how much we want people to call it. We sound lonely.
I'm not lonely. I'm with you guys.
Yeah, we sound like the desperate guy at the bar.
Please email us. Please.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.
Curse this magic existence.